Let's talk about the American deep state, a term often brushed off as a conspiracy theory, but it's really rooted in how power works. It's not about lizard people or secret societies. It's about a network of influence that works behind the scenes of our democracy. While we see presidents and Congress in the spotlight, there's a hidden layer that's always there. Intelligence agencies, career government workers, military companies, Wall Street, and big tech companies. These people, who aren't elected, have more power than politicians. They steer policy to protect what they care about. It's not just one bad guy, but a huge system. Generals become defense company bosses, CIA chiefs shape the news, and bankers run the treasury. What do they want? Never-ending conflict, company profits, and keeping money and power flowing, no matter who gets elected. This machine thrives in the shadows, making decisions in secret while people are busy with other things. It affects wars, how we deal with other countries, and the economy. It's so deep that it's almost impossible to see, and being invisible is its biggest strength. The deep state isn't a made-up story. It's the hidden engine of American power. Understanding it is the first step to seeing how our democracy really works. The warning came from President Eisenhower, not some conspiracy theorist. In 1961, he warned against the military-industrial complex, a mix of a huge military and weapons makers with too much power. After World War II, the Cold War needed a constant security setup. The Department of Defense, the National Security Council, and the CIA, all working in secret like never before. This was the start of a shadow government, generals, spies, and contractors whose power grew from a world of constant threats. Eisenhower saw the danger, a government inside the government pushing its own plans. The term deep state came later, but the blueprint was already there. When secrets, money, and special interests team up, democracy gets pushed aside. Eisenhower's warning was clear, but America mostly didn't pay attention. The shadow government took root. Who's in the deep state? It's not just spies in trench coats. At its core, intelligence agencies like the CIA and NSA, operating with secret budgets and little oversight. Add the Pentagon and defense contractors, companies like Lockheed and Raytheon, lobbying for endless wars and profiting from them. Wall Street funds the military machine, reaping rewards from global dominance. Think tanks, funded by both government and corporations, provide intellectual cover for interventionist policies. Big tech and corporate media amplify the deep state's narratives, shaping public opinion and silencing dissent. Together, these sectors form a self-reinforcing cycle of power, profit, and propaganda. Breaking this web is almost impossible. How does the deep state get its power? By controlling information. Intelligence agencies decide what leaders and the public know, shaping what people think and what happens. Leaks that are planned and media tricks make people agree to wars and policies. Bureaucrats can slow down or mess up what elected leaders want to do, making sure the security state keeps going. Secret operations like coups, killings, and propaganda are done in secret, away from public view. The CIA and others have fought secret wars and overthrown governments without the public knowing. This is power, without anyone being held accountable, working in the dark. The deep state's real weapon is that it can act without being seen. The deep state's fingerprints are all over modern history. 1953. The CIA overthrows Iran's elected leader, putting a dictator in power to protect oil interests. Vietnam. The Gulf of Tonkin incident is twisted to make a disastrous war seem okay. 1973. In Chile, the CIA helps to overthrow President Allende, starting a really harsh dictatorship. This pattern keeps happening, supporting dictators, planning coups, and starting wars for money and power. Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, Syria, every time, the security bigwigs pushed for it. not what regular people wanted. People like Dick Cheney make money from war, twisting information to help their industry. These aren't just mistakes. It's how the system is supposed to work. The deep state's legacy is a world that's always messed up and wars that never end. What happens when leaders challenge the deep state? History gets dark. JFK's assassination remains a mystery, with key files still kept secret, making people wonder if insiders were involved. Kennedy went against the CIA and wanted peace in Vietnam and with the Soviets. Then he was killed. The 1960s saw more. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X and Robert F. Kennedy, all silenced after going against the way things were. Each one was a threat to the people in power, and their deaths made way for business as usual. A coincidence? Maybe, but the pattern is scary. The deep state doesn't always need bullets. Bad stories in the news, political tricks and investigations can destroy opponents. The lesson: those who threaten the shadow government often pay a big price. The 60s remind us how far the deep state will go to protect itself. Power defends itself, sometimes no matter the cost. The shadow government's reach is long and doesn't give up. The deep state's power really blew up in the digital age. After 9/11s, the Patriot Act knocked down all the walls to mass surveillance. Big tech became partners with the NSA. Google, Facebook, Apple, and others handed over data from millions of people. Snowden's leaks showed programs like PRISM, proving the government had direct access to our digital lives. Surveillance isn't just about terrorism. It's about control, figuring out who disagrees, and predicting what people will do. Data is turned into weapons to mess with what people think and how they vote. The deep state now works through computer programs and private deals, making it even harder to see than before. When your life is online, the deep state already has the keys. Trump's promise to drain the swamp was a direct challenge to the deep state. His presidency started an open war with intelligence agencies and government workers. Leaks, investigations, and media attacks followed. The fight wasn't about left versus right, but outsider versus the established system. Biden's election brought things back to normal. The deep state's preferred order was restored. With Trump's return in 2024, the conflict starts again. Purges, loyalty tests, and big threats from both sides. The real question is, do elected leaders govern, or does the permanent power structure call the shots? The deep state stays, no matter who is in the White House. The idea of democracy seems real, but the shadow government remains. So, what's the bottom line? The deep state isn't just some made-up story by one political side. It's a real thing that's built into how things work. Being a powerful nation and being a democracy just don't mix. Secrets and watching everyone all the time make it impossible for people to be held accountable. The real danger is that we pretend it's not there, letting the system run wild. Endless wars, spying on everyone, and a democracy that's just for show are what we get. Things won't change just by electing a new president. The system either takes over people who try to challenge it or gets rid of them. Real change needs people who know what's going on and are ready to act, demanding that things be open and that people in charge are held responsible. The deep state is like the elephant in the room. It's huge, powerful, and we've ignored it for way too long. We can keep pretending, or we can face it head on. The choice is ours, but pretending it's not there is the most dangerous path. Only by calling out this hidden government can we hope to get our democracy back.